I'm Anil Kumar, and here is an application question on algebraic expressions. We'll deal with coins in this example. Pam has change in his pocket consisting of nickels, dimes, and quarters. The number of dimes is twice the number of nickels, and the number of nickels is 5 more than the number of quarters. We need to write an algebraic expression to represent number of coins Pam has using single variable. Part B is write an algebraic expression that represents the value of these coins. And part C is calculate the above value if the number of quarters is 5. So that's a very interesting question. Let's go through it, define our variables, and try to understand how to develop algebraic expression in single variable. So let's read this question once again. It says Pam has change in his pocket consisting of nickels, dimes, and quarters. So let us first say that Pam has n nickels, d dimes, and q quarters. Okay, so first define your variables. So say let Pam has n number of nickels, d number of dimes, and q number of quarters. The number of dimes is twice the number of nickels. So we get a relation that is number of dimes is 2 times nickels, right? So we have d equals to 2 times nickels, right? So we get one relation. Then we say number of dimes is twice the number of nickels, that is what it is, and number of nickels is 5 more than number of quarters. Number of nickels is 5 more than quarters, that means quarters plus 5. Right, so that is how we find that these variables are related. So we can say that all are related to quarters. Since dimes is twice nickels, we can actually write q plus 5 for nickels, right? So we'll use this for nickel here, correct? So we say it is 2 times quarters plus 5. Do you see that? So we got dimes also in quarters and nickels also in quarters, right? Now that means one variable which we can use to write an algebraic expression is the number of quarters. So that is what we are going to use. Okay, so let's go through this question now in details. We need to write an algebraic expression to represent number of coins Pam has using single variable. So let us first write using two variables. Okay, so using two variables I can say it should be nickels plus dimes plus quarters. That is so simple, right? Now we know that nickels is quarters plus 5, so we can write instead of nickels quarters plus 5. Instead of times we can write 2 times quarters plus 5, right? That means, let me expand this, so it gives me 2q plus 2 times 5 is 10, okay, and plus quarters. Do you see that? So Pam has nickels, dimes, and quarters. Since dimes are 2 times nickel, so we wrote instead of dimes we wrote 2 times nickel, right? And nickels we know are 5 more than quarters, so we start with nickel, q plus 5, 2 times q plus 5, and quarters, correct? Now you can combine like terms and write your expression. So quarters are q plus 2q plus 1, so 3 plus 1 4, right? So you get 4 quarters plus numbers are 15, so that is what you get, 4 quarters plus 15. So that becomes an algebraic expression in single variable. Do you see that part? That is how we can write. Now the second part is write an algebraic expression that represents the value of these coins. Now there are two ways you can go about. One, since we have equivalent expression, you can always use this expression and write on the answer. So one of your answers could be from the equivalent expression. You could write 4 quarters means 4 times 25 cents, right? So 0.25 plus 15. So this amount is in dollars, right? So we are writing the amount in dollars. Is that okay? Another way to do the same thing is if you start from the very beginning, number of nickels, dimes and quarters, in that case each nickel is 5 cents. So it will be 0.05 nickels, number of nickels, plus dimes is 10 cents, 0.10 dimes, plus 25 cents, 0.25 quarters, right? That could have been your starting statement. Then you have to do all that and get to this. But your final answer is this, right? Where you can always multiply and get your answer in this case, right? 4 quarters. Okay. Well, we 4 times quarters, and we don't know how many quarters are there, so I have to still write Q here, right? So 4 times the value of quarter, which is 0.25, times the number of quarters, right? So there's a correction, right? So you get 4 times, let me rewrite this as 4 times 0.25 gives me 1, right? So we get quarter plus 15. Here Q is number of quarters, right? So where Q is number of quarters equals to Q. That is our variable. Now part C is calculate the above value if the number of quarters is 5. So if the number of quarters is 5, then the value should be, let me use another ink, then the value should be 5 plus 15, right? So the value, that means total value is 5 for quarters. We'll just substitute 5 plus 15, we get 20. So that is the value which we get in dollars. So this much dollars. The units will be dollars, right? Since we have units dollars here. So the total value with 5 quarters in this case should be $20. So that is how we can solve such questions, right? I hope you understand and appreciate it. This should help you to solve many questions which are word problems relating coins. So go through this video once again, and I hope you can now solve any problem relating to coins. Thank you and all the best.